Hey, back to As a Man Thinks, y'all. Definitely had some fun these last couple episodes. Think you're gonna enjoy what we're talking about today. Probably a little bit more serious, but there's a lot going on in our country, and we definitely want to make sure we discuss that. One of the topics we talked about is just the conditions of all the different mass shootings that we've seen in and around the country.
Yeah, I think, man, that as a man thinks is so important with our vision and what we're doing, because when you think about the youth and you think about the people that are being hurt, I mean, every time you turn on the news, there's somebody being killed or a mass shooting in schools. And I will tell you, man, the enemy is busy. The Bible says he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So when we think about, our mission and what we're doing to impact people's lives and kids' life and really showing these young men their value, I truly believe that this is going to bring a ton of value to people that have no hope. But it's just extremely sad, like Deshaun said, the topic that we're going to talk about today, just literally 45 minutes ago, there was a mass shooting in Alabama where 9 people was shot and 4 people have been confirmed dead. I mean, this is real. Last night I'm watching the news. There's another mass murder in Kentucky and multiple people killed and on and on and on. Before that, another mass killing in Memphis. I mean, it's just going from city to city. And I believe that it's a spirit. And I also believe that, the world is looking for people that's going to stand up and say they're not going to put up with the enemy being able to run rapid and little kids that are losing their lives that woke up that morning and went to school expecting to come home and see their parents and didn't make it back home. It's unacceptable. It makes me angry. It makes me furious. But we got to do more than just being angry and being furious. We have to react.
Oh man. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be a powerful topic. The way I feel about the mass shootings and just guns in general. Um, Personally, I don't necessarily own a gun, so my kids can't get to a gun. I haven't dealt with guns. Yeah, I had while I was in the military. There were a lot of different types of weapons and stuff like that, but and I'm not very old, but I just remember, even when I was a kid, you'd hear about some shootings, but not to this level. Um, like we fought more than pull out a gun and shoot you. Now it's they just pull out a gun of anything, and maybe it's because they can't fight. That's why I think. That's why I tell my brother, like, I think they just pull out a gun because they can't fight. And then now you got the mass shootings where the first claim that they always say is oh, they had something going on in their life. Oh, it's their mental. And in retrospect, it could be, but we don't know that. So we as a people could do more. The government could do more, but you got so many people that stuck on what they feel like they have the right to do. It's my right to have a gun. Oh, it's my right to do this, that, and the third. My brother currently right now is in Australia. And he says that he wake up in the morning time to never shoot him. You know why? Because they can't have guns over there in Australia. The only people that have guns is law enforcement. Yeah, you may hear about a stabbing or something, but there will be no mass shootings over there. And that's because the people over there, from what I gathered, he told me like they're happy. Like they are happy. Of course you're gonna get mad, irritated. And then the first thing you do, you go pick up a gun and go shoot some people you don't know. Makes no sense. Over there, I don't know, maybe you're gonna slap 7 people. You have a mass slapping, but you won't have a mass shooting. So I think there is a lot that we can do. But holding on to what we feel like is our right and we deserve to have a gun. And oh, you say, well, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, people can kill people, but if people didn't have guns, then I think that we'll have obviously we'll have no shootings, right? They don't have no guns. So you can't say that guns don't kill people because they do. people do kill people, but it'd be a lot less people, a lot of less people killed if we didn't have the guns. So the mass shootings is definitely a topic that definitely needs to be talked about more. And the impact that we want to have is, helping those people maybe calm down. Don't pick up the weapon.
Kyrie said something that was very powerful. He said that he was in the military, but he didn't know how to use a gun. And so that's the reason why he's not in the military anymore.
I didn't say that.
But I will tell you this. We had a podcast not too long ago that was WTF. And it's standing for Where Are the Fathers? I want to go back to that, Deshaun, because the thing I think about with that is, where are the fathers? Mm-hmm. Where are the men that are standing up and saying, we're not going to put up with somebody going in our kids' school, shooting 9 kids? That's unacceptable. We're not going to put up with somebody going in our community, attacking our families, and killing people. Where are the fathers? Why are the fathers not standing up? Why are the fathers not marching? Why are the fathers not speaking out? Like, we need a coalition of fathers that are going to get together and say enough is enough. It's unacceptable. This is not okay. And if we don't stand up and react to this, people are going to continue to do this over and over and over again. And next time it could be one of our kids' schools. Mm-hmm. Next time it could hit closer to home and be in our backyard instead of 200 miles away. But where are the fathers?
Yeah, I agree. So, it's a very serious subject, and a lot of times we do joke on this forum, but this is definitely something that is very close to the heart. You think about it, the time, like you mentioned, the time that we're talking about this, there's a mass shooting in Alabama, one that just happened the day before in Louisville, Kentucky, one that happened in Tennessee. And unfortunately, at the time this comes out, there may be more as well. So it's an unfortunate situation that we have to face as our country. And there's a lot of people on either side of, the NRA, whether it's for guns and against guns. And again, that's not a lot of what you'll hear here. You hear Kyrie very passionately talk about the need of not having guns. We also have people here who are card-carrying members of having a gun. So again, there's different perspectives. What is true, though, is that we do have a disproportionate amount of people who are affected by guns. And, again, we talk about schools, which is unfortunate. There are programs. There's a program that I was a part of, and a lot of people have called Watchdogs. And Watchdogs is a program that we have here. I know it's in other places as well, but it's fathers. You actually have dads of, dads on guard where you're actually going into schools and you have a presence throughout the year. And every year, every day of the year, there's a different dad that will be at the school just having a presence walking around the school. Of course, some schools have security, but you also have dads that's there, just there to be a presence. And there are some programs out there that does help. But again, it's not enough. It always starts at the home. So you see a lot of these kids who, end up shooting up schools. People say, oh, they have these problems. We know this at home. Where was the fathers at then? Where were you at when you see your kid, scanning cats and shooting squirrels, doing stuff that's just like not right? You got to take action with that child at that time. The other part too is, you can just go right now. It's not even schools. You can be at a mall. You can be going shopping at a grocery store. Yeah, grocery store. People just going to do regular stuff like going to shop. You got somebody just walks in with a gun and starts shooting.
Specific people, use out the specific colored people, but
right.
I'm not gonna say that, and I'm definitely not trying to take it for the meanness that's just not there. But I do think that by me being in education, I kind of see from maybe a different angle, is because when I'm dealing with those students, and of course you don't know their story, but sometimes when you do talk to the parents and the fathers are present, and when you talk to them, you say so and so doing such and such at school, and then they'll say, well, what do you suggest I do? Like, they do it here at home too. And so as I'm looking and I'm seeing, I think here is, even though I obviously I can control my kids, you control your kids, and a lot of people can. Sometimes some kids are a product of the environment, and it may not be the parents inside the home that's not showing them, because not every child have bad parents or don't come from a two-parent home. You have children out there that make decisions on their own, and sometimes it's the government that's kind of in the way because they don't want you to give your kids a spanking no more. They don't want you to discipline them this way no more. Like in schools, you can't even really, when I was in school, you got suspended for cussing at a teacher or even cursing in class. You got suspended. So disciplinary things that were done when we were coming up that in a sense made it seem as though we were in a better space. Granted, we still have people shooting and stuff, but not to this magnitude. Now kids can pretty much do whatever they want to do. They can cuss the teacher out. If you got Twitter or whatever, you see the students on there blatantly disrespecting the teacher, slapping them, fighting their parents, whatever. And then it's the adult that is, supposed to walk away or whatever. So I think sometimes the hands can be tied from trying to help, because you just like, well, the more and more I help, you just like, well, I'm done with it. I'm washing my hands. The more and more I seem like I'm trying to help, the more and more the government tries to step in and take all the power away from me. So I don't even know how to help. So then that's when you can reach out to, people like us, and maybe we can kind of guide you. But at the same time, we still dealing with the same thing as well. We definitely want to be positive thinking, but sometimes you cannot step away from reality. And reality is what it is. I think that the generation that we in now is just different. I think that it's harder to tame these kids by the laws that have changed and the different things that you can or can't do with your child. That's just my take.
I will say this. So when I was actually talking to my wife, we were talking about the music that these kids listen to, the games that they're playing, the things that they do, and it has desensitized them to really believing that what they do has an effect. I mean, you got games like, I won't call out certain games, you got certain fighting games, certain, video games out there where you can actually go and hunt people down, shoot them up, it's not a big deal. Turn the game off and keep it moving. That's not reality. Sometimes these kids have been desensitized to what it feels like to murder, that it's not that big a deal. But again, we have to set the standard off at home, right? Like we were talking about the other day, whether or not our kids listen to music where there's cursing at it. But just understand, when I was a kid, I listened to music when they was cursing, but I knew not to listen to it around my parents. I knew not to listen to it around my uncles and my grandparents, because my grandfather's a little different. My grandfather, he might let me listen to music with certain things. But in all honesty, the level of respect that you had, you couldn't do around your parents. Sometimes your parents got to the point where they feel like they can't discipline their kids, but the kids do that. Well, to me, I believe in, you honor your mom, your dad, your days go long. So my kids know when in the car or something going on, it better be the clean with it. Because you're not going to disrespect me and think you can play that in my presence. And what you do in your own time, I get it. But my hope is you understand that you can't do that in front of me. And we've lost that. Kids have lost that fear of what may potentially happen. This feel like I can do whatever I want. Nah, you're going to do whatever you need to do. You're going to do whatever we need you to do. Mm-hmm. The other part, though, and I think Courtney said it earlier, it's the spirit, right? We're getting caught up in these different aspects. But there's two things that we battle with. You battle with your flesh, we battle with your spirit. I'd even go a step further and say you battle with the Holy Spirit or the spirit, and we talked about this in our class, we're talking about the spirit of the Antichrist. So you got two spirits you're battling with, right? Holy Spirit is going to teach you to do certain things. I talked earlier about 2 Chronicles. It says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked way, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sins and heal their land. But he says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves. That's our problem right now. We live in a country that is bent on having what they want, doing what they want. You care less about what it does to other people. They only care about what they have. We're not a humble society by any means. And again, until we can get to a place where we can humbly accept who our true creator is, then we'll start to see that. But right now, we're not. We're not a country that's humble at all. We're a very prideful country. We're a very prideful society. We have, and that's where you see a lot of those places. That's where you see a lot of hatred. That's where you see a lot of issue. We see a lot of just because we don't have a love for everybody, we won't have a, disdain for each other. And we're not going to be able to do anything together as a people with something like that.
So when you said that, I thought about something. Then we were just talking a minute ago. We were talking about how Deshaun's level of having scriptures that will come to him instantly, being led by the Spirit, was a lot more in depth than myself and Kyrie. With that being said, Kyrie has no clue, zero. I have a little spirit, okay? I know some stuff, right? But now I don't have a lot. But Deshaun, but I thought about something and I decided to pull it up. And the Bible clearly says that for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the power of this dark world, and against the spiritual force of evil in the heavenly realm. When you think about what's happening in our world, it's a spiritual warfare. And the thing that's so crazy about it is we are trying to fight it in our flesh. And nothing's happening. There's zero impact. There's people are still having mass murders, people are still killing people, and I would tell you, even with my kids, I constantly tell them, listen, it's not your dad. God provides for us. You have to thank him. You have to praise him. You have to reach out to him because he's our provider. But I turn that around in the manner of, we got to get on our knees, people. We got to pray. We got to pray. We got to break the spirit that is moving through state to state, attacking our kids, attacking our communities, because it's a spiritual warfare. It is not a fleshly fight. Us doing it in our flesh, we will lose every time. But if you recognize that it's a spiritual thing and that the enemy is attacking us spiritually, and we can react, because the Bible says where 2 or 3 comes, he's in the midst. I can't do it by myself. Deshaun can't do it by himself. Kyrie can't do it by himself. It's going to take all of us. And our group meet that we have, as a man think, we have over 90 men in there. It's going to take every one of those men standing up, saying, I refuse to allow the enemy to destroy my community. I refuse to allow the enemy to destroy my kids. Because guess what? Our kids, and you may have kids too that are growing old, getting older, and are going to go to college. They could be in that same situation. So it's our responsibility to pray over them, seek the Lord, and make sure that they're protected so that they don't run into situations like this where they are involved in a mass shooting and life is taken, innocent people being killed. And I'm telling you, it makes me mad. And in my flesh, I want to physically go and fight. But I got to recognize that it's not a fleshly fight, it's a spiritual.
No, I completely agree. I mean, Courtney couldn't have said it any better. It's not a battle of our flesh. It's a battle, and it says, our weapons are not carnal. We don't have fleshly weapons. Our weapons is a spiritual battle. How do we fight the spiritual battle? How do we go to war? Courtney spoke about it. But that's what we do. So as a man thinks, we have different groups of brothers that pray every morning. We get up and we pray 6:30 for some, a little bit early for some others, some later than others. But we're up in the morning praying, seeking God's face because that's what we desire. And again, we said where the Father's at, but I would say where the men at. If you look at any scripture, look at the Bible, look at any different faiths, it's all based on where the men were, is where you see deterioration. Look at the family, the essence of the family, in American families. You see where the family started to get torn apart is when they wanted to separate the moms from the fathers. Men, we have to step up. Fathers, we have to step up. There's no ifs and buts about it. Our families, our generations, our legacies will all go based on what we do. And if we don't set the stage for how we build up our family, we talk about this all the time. We got to pray over our children. We got to pray over our families. We got to pray over our lives. We got to step up. Too many times we don't. There's too many women that are called to do things in the lives of families, the lives of ministry, the lives of of leadership. And again, ladies, we love y'all. We're not saying it's not your role. It's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is that men have to step up. It's plain and simple. Men need to step up. And again, not all of us have stepped up, but today's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Step up, step in the gap, stay in the gap, be impactful. Gather your children. I told these brothers today with my children, we're going to do something called Sunday, not S-U-N day, S-O-N. It's going to be 30 minutes or an hour of just spending time talking to my sons. What's really going on in life? Where are you at? What's really a struggle for you? What's going on to really understand what, because too many times we have work going on. We got school going on. They got activities going on. We just kind of pass. And that's not what they need. Our kids need to feel our love. They need to feel what it means to embrace us, to understand us, and to know how proud we are of them. And the things that they may be struggling with, to know that we're here to support them. But it's got to be more than just us being around their lives. We got to be in their lives. We got to be effective in their lives. And again, brothers, we got to step up. When you look at all these things going on in life, I'm going to go back to saying it again. It's due to a man not being in position. It's how I feel.
I don't disagree. There are a lot of men out there that's not in position, doing what they want to do. They just not there. Like you said, not in the gap or have run away from responsibility. And it's not all men, but we here today, we're talking about what the men can do. Step up, be a man, be proactive in your kids' life. And like Deshaun said, I have meetings with my kids too. I don't call it the Sunday. I tell them we about to have a come to Jesus meeting. So we go and we sit and we talk about whatever. I mean, I may have some things I want to get off my chest that make that scene around the house or I see and I need to let them know about it. But then after I'm done, I kind of let them talk to me about whatever, grades, girls, what's going on in life in general. If they have any questions for me, just trying to get a feed on where they are, and just letting them know that it's okay to come and talk to me about whatever. And just like this, y'all, it's okay for y'all to come on in here and talk to us. Leave some comments down there. I mean, we'll see the comments. We'll try to get through the comments and maybe inspire us to talk about some of the things that y'all want us to talk about. One day we'll get to a point where we're having a live feed. We haven't made it yet, but we're working our way up to it. And but we're here. We're gonna stand in the gap. Where are y'all?
One of the things we talked about is something we call Troy or TROY. It's kind of a spin on you all in hip hop fans, Pete Rock and CL Smooth when they reminisce over you. But I think that's something we should be looking at. So we can actually go into the comments until we go live. But really look at the comments. So again, put comments in there. We'll go back, we'll look at the comments, and we'll dedicate the show to just some things that you all speak about. What are some of the things you want to talk about? Obviously, this is a heavy topic about the mass murderers. We talk about where the fathers are. You'll see some other episodes. We talk about the sports. There's gonna be a lot of things out there that we talk about. Put your comments in there. We'll actually write those down. We'll go, and when we do talk about it until we go live, we'll start talking about those things on the show. One of the things that I saw somebody mention to me or someone talk to me personally about was, how do you pray? You know what I'm saying? How do you pray? How do you actually pray? We've never known how to pray, or I've always been shown a certain way how to pray, and there are ways to teach people how to pray. That's something we can talk about as well, something we can do. And as the man thinks in our early morning prayer, one of the things that we show you is how to effectively pray. So again, if you don't know, reach out to us. AsTheManThinks.org, hit the join, hit the chat. You got Deshaun Brown, Courtney, Kyrie, any one of us can help you to pray, help you to get where you are. That's what we want to do. So if you're somebody watching this is going, I don't know where my walk is, I don't know what my faith is. Again, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Get connected. Get connected. Let's gain knowledge. Let's be connected to something other than yourself. Don't be a wall. Don't be secluded to yourself and you fall. Get connected to us. We can help you get to that place. God's calling you. Reach out to you, brother. Reach out to myself. We can help you get there.
Yeah, one thing I would do, I would challenge every man that is under the sound of our voice, that God is directing you to this podcast. If you're sitting there right now, you listening to this podcast and you're wondering how you can get involved, or you're wondering how you can get connected, again, reach out to us, AsTheManThinks.org. Send us your phone number, send us your information, tell us you want to get connected. We'll plug you into our group meet where we have other men's in our group meet, and every single day, all day, we're encouraging each other. We're praying for each other. We're holding each other accountable. It's about accountability. Without accountability, you as a man, you're not going to make it far in this world without accountability. These brothers right here hold me accountable, and I appreciate it because I definitely need it, but if you're looking somewhere and you want to get connected, I don't care what state you are in, it doesn't matter. We got multiple people that's a part of our group currently right now, we're in 10 different states and growing. Every week we're growing from about 10 to 15 men per week. And this is not us growing it. This is God growing it. There's some hurting men out there. Even if you feel like you are strong spiritually and you just want to be connected with a good group of guys that's going to encourage you and you'll be able to encourage them, lock in. You know what I'm saying? Connect with us. We want to be connected with you. We got a lot of different events that's coming up that we're having. And we want to, be able to share that with y'all and connect with y'all.
And don't be afraid to show your personality either. I mean, as y'all see, obviously me and Courtney go back and forth more than me and Deshaun. Deshaun kind of like the laid back chill one. I like to talk about people. Courtney like to talk about me because I don't live here and talk about anybody else. But,
he's very easy to talk about. It's not a hard conversation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all see what I see. Okay, so it's a very easy conversation. I'm not a bully, but what you will find out is this guy right here always has some slick, and I ain't for the slick. Okay, I'm gonna come back. You got something to say, I'm gonna come back. But you know what? It's all in fun. I love this dude. Okay, and at the end of the day, I want to see him successful. I want to see Deshaun successful. I want to see all of us reach a potential of success, that God put us in that position to be able to do. We have a ton of things outside of this that we're doing. If you want to have better understanding about business, connect with us. If you want to have better understanding about being a father, connect with us. Whatever it is that you need, I guarantee you, out of the 90 men that we have right now, is somebody in that group that got the answer for you, that'll be able to help you. If you're just looking for a prayer partner, you looking for somebody, look, man, I just need somebody to pray with me weekly. Connect with us. We got that. We could connect you with a brother right now that'll start praying with you every single week to help you through. We understand, men, we deal with things that maybe some people don't even understand, they don't even get. Women don't even understand. There's things that we talk about on our personal lives that we would never come back and even have that conversation with a woman. Right. It's something that we deal with. It's something that we struggle with. So all I would tell you is get connected, get in a good group that can help you be better, stronger, and empower you to be great. Because there's greatness in every man, I believe it. And, something was said. I sent this when we went to Atlanta, to the Legacy Center, one of the things our brother Jay said was, everybody that was created, God created them because there was a problem on earth, and he's created them to fill that problem. When he said that, I've never looked at life like that. That I was created on this earth because God himself created me to fill a problem. And there's no one else that can take care of that problem but Courtney. There's no one else that can take care of that problem but Deshaun. There's nobody else that can take care of that problem but Kyrie. I want you to understand that God created you specifically to take care of a problem that's here on earth, and no one else can do it but you. And if you feel him tugging on you right now, you know what I'm saying is true. You're the only one that can solve that problem, and God will never, ever stop tugging on you until you're willing to release that and give it to him and go do what he wants you to do.
guys, please don't feel like you'll be judged in the group. You won't. Even if you just want to come in for a good laugh, reach out. Reach out. I try to make you laugh as much as I possibly can. If you just want to release whatever it is, you just need somebody to talk. Just you don't, or you don't need somebody to talk. You just need somebody to listen. Reach out. We here. Again, we not here to judge. We're not here to judge your religious preference. We're not here to judge anything about you. What we are here to do is lift you up, make sure that you stay in that positive vibe, and that's all that we here for, man. I feel like we're doing a pretty good job thus far. It's a lot of different personalities, even within the group meet. I mean, like you said, we have over 90 people in the group meet, so it's a lot of different personalities in there. So don't feel like you may not, gel well. There's 90 different people in there. You'll fit right in. So make sure you check us out. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need something. Please don't hesitate.
And again, with a man, we know trust is earned. So we understand how it is tough for a man to feel like you can just hop on a forum you don't know, hop on people you don't know. So hopefully you listen to these podcasts and get to understand who we are. But again, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to challenge you. So if you're a man and you feel that it says to whom much is given, much is expected. If you feel that there's more that you need to be given, maybe you do a great job of helping out your people at the job, you do some things. But if you feel like there's more you can give, then step up, join the group. How can I get connected? How can I do something else? I'm not in Atlanta. I'm not in Chicago. I'm somewhere else. It's okay. How can I get connected? We can help you with that. Really want to get connected with you, really help you to understand. If you feel that your life is disconnected from your source, we can help you with that. We can help you get where you need to be at. Don't feel this battle you're going through is by yourself, because it's not. But again, we understand trust is earned. So you don't know us from anywhere else. But again, get connected. Our links are there. You can personal chat me. This is what I'm going through. You can personally chat Courtney. You can personally chat Kyrie. I might connect with this person a little bit more. I want to talk to this brother. Talk to us. Learn us. Come, I guarantee you we'll reach out to you. You link up to me, I'll give you my personal number. Because I want to make sure at the end of the day, if you feel the tug in your heart to talk to somebody here and you feel like God has connected us for a purpose, then by all means, that's the problem. Courtney talked about it earlier. Shout out to Jay Morrison. Shout out to Dr. Miles Monroe. That was a saying that we all have a problem to solve in this world. Every problem there is, there's a solve to it. Yeah, if someone calls and says, hey, I got an issue going on, that's a problem that we have to solve. And evangelistically, we hope that eventually you'll be at that point where you can help somebody else solve their problem. We get you on point, you're getting tugged at for a reason, because you're supposed to probably reach out to other people who are going through struggles. But don't just sit there and listen to this and think about it and then walk away and feel like, okay, well, I'll move on and then next week you get that same feeling. Hit that join app, hit that link. Put a comment in there. I promise you, reach out to it. We'll make sure we get you connected to somebody here and make sure we get you where you need to be at. That's what God's connected with.
Yeah, so one of the things I want to share is a quote that was sent to me today, and it says, "Consistency doesn't mean never making a mistake. It means never giving up." To me, that means a lot. In my life, I've been through a lot, but I never gave up. And I will tell you, I wanted to give up. I wanted to throw in the towel. This wasn't fair. I don't feel as if I was treated right, but I never gave up. And the thing I would challenge you today is, don't give up. If you feel like giving up, throwing in the towel, this is too much for you, you can't handle it, don't give up. Keep fighting. Fight one more day. Because I promise you, man, if you just fight one more day, God will meet you where you are. He will meet you. He is faithful. He will never fail you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. But again, get connected. As a man thinks.org. We are here, wanting to help, want to be able to empower you. And I'm sure you got something that you can bring to the table as well. You know, you might have a word that God gave you that might impact my life, impact Deshaun's life, impact Kyrie's life, or impact the other 90 men that are there, you know, and looking for somebody to help them. You know, we're gonna continue to grow, guys. We got so many awesome things happening. You know, we're gonna be out there in the community. We'll be out there doing feeding the homeless out there. So we got that on the date. This summer, we're gonna be connecting with man. We got a amazing Pastor Rod. Is gonna come down here from Chicago. He'll be here and he'll be able to bless us. We already got men signing up for that. And we're all going to come together and really, really have a good time. But, you know, we do this thing quarterly, you know, where we're doing different things to impact community and impact the young men that's in our community. So we're going to be speaking we got some speaking engagements that we're lining up right now that we'll be speaking at different schools in Atlanta, that we're going to be really impacting these kids, man. You know, it's not about us just being on the podcast right here and talking about it. We want to show y'all in action, okay? We want to be available. We want to be connected. And we want to be able to show y'all that everything that you hear right here in our podcast, you don't only hear, but we live it. We out there in the streets, you know? So come out and get connected with us because we would love to share what we're doing with all our viewers that are looking and anybody else that want to be connected.